welcome back to the channel. Now, I'm going to do things a little bit differently in this video. This T5 is having a pop top fitted, and I wasn't going to do a video all about the pop top, but now I'm going to do a video all about the pop top. It's a Drive Lodge pop top. All the gear is just here now. It comes in quite a substantial bit of kit. Every bit of carpet's cut, every bit of wood's cut. The lid itself comes with light carpet lined, insulated, and has lights in it already. It comes with a front spoiler, like splitter thing to, you know, for aerodynamics and all that. But this T5 here, I've just started doing some bits, but I'm going to let you know what I've done first, because I've not done too much, but mainly what I've done is unbolt the rock and roll bed, because we were going to take the kitchen and the rock and roll bed out, and that still might have to happen, but I'm not 100% sure yet whether I need to do that. But the rock and roll bed at least can come out, because it comes with a big metal frame pre-made. We need to get that in and get that up inside the roof. So at the moment we've measured the roof on the outside, drawn on it where it needs cutting, and I'm just going to go at it with a reciprocating saw. This is the first time I've ever done this job. I've done similar jobs, but this is the first time I'm doing this one, so I don't know how it's going to go. This video could end well, could end bad, but up to now, taking the rock and roll bed bolts out was a faff, because I had to take a drip tray underneath, protection tray thing, and a load of rusty bolts and all that kind of thing. And it's probably going to be that I didn't even need to move that in the end, but now I've done it, just makes things a bit easier. As you can see, there's a dust sheet now on the inside, all the way around, just to protect, to catch all the metal filings and stuff that come off when we cut with the reciprocating saw. But the measurements for the pop top are available. They don't send them with it. I just had to phone the company up and ask them for it. But we did know how big it was, but there was a starting point that we didn't know, and that was at what point from the back of the van do we start measuring, because that's quite a, you know, important measurement. So they sent us that. That means we can just measure the rest of it up, and it's all right. It's good. All the measurements do match up now, and we've double and triple checked it, which is always important to do. So the next thing now is I'm going to make some holes in the roof so we can get the reciprocating saw in, cut the roof out, and then we can see from then whether we need to take out the kitchen and the rock and roll bed. I hope not, to be honest, because they're not easy to get in and out, but that is what it is. Anyway, let's crack on with that. Oh. Can't believe it's the first time I've ever done one of these. First time I've ever lifted the roof off.
Look at that.
Right, so that is the roof off. The roof is off, and currently we've realised we do have to dismantle the taller part of the kitchen at least. The rock and roll bed's out. You alright? Got something to say?
I feel like you're a teacher.
Teacher. Come on, boys and girls. Right. Rock and roll bed's out. Tall part of the kitchen is out. We're just undoing these wires here, and then that should be it. That should be all out. We've laid the frame on here on the top, just to give us an indication of how things mount. And what we've had to do is cut back these braces. We've cut through the braces already, but we've had to trim them back a little bit so that the frame sits up against there. Again, this is the first time we've done this, although we do work on campervans all the time. It's the first time we've done this job, which is why we've been a bit cautious about it. But we couldn't find any guides of this been done, so you're learning with us. Right, so a couple of days have happened since we first started this pop top. We've just offered the roof up now because we wanted to just see how it looks. So the front spoiler is just resting on there. The roof is on, and from the inside we can now see where things are going. I just wanted to visualize it a little bit, but now, as you can see, the frame is in. We know where all the holes are and everything for the brackets, the scissor brackets, and then the pneumatic rams. So potentially what we're going to do next is take the roof off again, drill a couple of holes where they need to be. The instructions are very vague, which is no disrespect to the company whatsoever, but the kit's brilliant. Everything's good about it. Everything's bagged up individually and separated off and all that business. But then there's no real guide to fitting it. Okay, so the roof's back off again, as you can see, and the instructions say that from the second second threaded hole here, we want to be going 8 inches and 5/8 back to measure this hole. I ain't doing no 8 inches, 5/8 inches. So I've drilled those, and that's for that. I just need to riv nut it in. We've got the riv nuts, came with the kit there, and then I've done the same on this side, so I'll get rid of all this and then we'll pop the riv nuts in and get that on there. So that's the current situation with these. Now riv nutted in, screwed in, bolted down, hopefully they're the right way. I believe that they are the right way. They can be easily switched around if need be, but that's the right way. The next thing now is to drill all these 5mm holes all the way around. I've marked off every 200mm all the way down the back, and then on the lower parts of these ridges. So I'm going to go around there and drill all them out now, and then we've got the rivets, and I just bought this new tool for that, just for this job really, because I didn't want to do it all by hand. There was so many rivets, so I'm going to get them blasted in now. Right, so the next thing I need to do is this wiring loom now needs to go back underneath this frame, so I need to G-clamp this back up, lower the frame that end, put that wiring loom back up where it should be, then put the frame back up, screw the frame back up, then seal along this edge in between these two gaps, then go in with the rivets and rivet this down, and then that's permanently in place. I don't believe there's any other stages. I'm following some instructions roughly, but I think that's about it. Once that's on, I think then we put roof back on and get the hinges bolted at the back, and then we can put the gas struts into those brackets that we just put in a few minutes ago. Right, so I've just done a little job here on these rivets to rivet the frame up into there. Now on this side, I put these tech screws in to start with yesterday or the other day when we started doing it. It's a cut in a corner, but it's still strong, but I've decided just to do it right now. I'll be straight with you. There's no way I wanted to put like 100 rivets in with a hand riveter, but now I've got this. It's no problem at all. It flies through rivets, so I might as well just take these tech screws out and rivet them out how they should be. But once I've done that, the frame's solid and it's in. I just need to seal it up. So that's all the rivets in now, where they should be. The frame is up, and what I've also done is put the headlining back in. And I put the headlining back in and then got a Stanley knife and cut it to that shape with scope to put this in. I don't need to put this in right now, but it's cool that, one sec. It's cool that this kit comes with everything, like all these bits of wood all trimmed and carpeted, all made to the right size, so we don't have to do it. So from a company point of view, it should save us a lot of time, hopefully. But that's that done now, and I think that I just need to go around and seal.
Toilet roll that trailer.
Huh?
Someone dropped a full toilet roll that trailer. What?
I'm trying to film a professional video here. So the next stage of this job is the sealant. So I'm going to just go around this with black OB1. Thin bead really, it doesn't have to be anything major, but it's just to stick the skin of the van down to the frame. I'll whack that in and then we'll go around riveting again. That rivet tool's good, I'm not going to lie. I don't want to tell anybody that Milwaukee tools are good because I'm a DeWalt guy, but it looks pretty good actually. Right, so now I'm putting the scissor bracket things in. We've got the roof rail bolt hole there, and then I've riveted one at the front here. There is another hole there, but that doesn't line up to the thing there, but in the instructions it only says putting 2 bolts in, so 2 bolts are in on both sides. But what that does mean is the pop top is in. As you can see, we've now put the gas struts in. I've not tightened them up yet, need tightening up, but as far as sort of, I guess, this stage goes, it's there. I'll show you from the outside. So next thing to do is to release the canvas so the canvas drops down into position, and then I can mark off where that's going to be, but I'll sort that out shortly. Just wanted to show you that stage really. So on these drive lodge pop tops, the awning itself is just stapled up, already on, already connected. You just have to pull it down, some little staples here and there, pull it down, drop it down like this, and then it drops down. So now all I need to do is fold the material back inward, and then there's some rails which are here like this that would fit front and back, and they will pop down there like that, and then I will screw them down, and that will make that way around, that's it, and they will help seal that down, seal that canvas down. And then from the outside you run some sealant around it so that waterproofs the entire van. And then there's longer rails that run front to back. Just need to cut those to size. I think this should be roughly the right size. On the instructions it says cut to size, but obviously it's low light in here. I might be able to unzip it so you can see it, but I'm going to get that down, because then once that's done and it's all sealed up, it's just interior work to do then. And so there's light at the end of this tunnel. There's a window at the front, and that's a plastic window. I've just unzipped it. The same at the sides, but I'm going to not do too much with that at the moment. I'm not going to start unzipping them all because I need to concentrate on getting all this bit neat. In all fairness, this has been a relatively straightforward job. I think it's just because it's the first time I've just been overcautious of stuff, and that's why it took so long. But in reality, this might have been filmed over a week, but in reality I'm spending maybe an hour at a time on it, dropping onto it when we're not busy with other stuff. The customer isn't expecting this back straight away. We've had it for 2 weeks now, but the customer's in no rush. They just want it done right, so it's not their daily driver either. Anyway, onward. I'm going to try and start putting these rails down so we can get this sealed in. Alright, so that is that rail on and in place, but as you can see there's still daylight coming under it, but that's where you seal it. You seal that from the outside. The canvas is obviously waterproof, and that's that. But anyway, that's the first stage of it going in. Quite happy with that. Just going to do the same at the front, and then I'm going to measure the side rails, the longer ones, and trim them down to fit in between these 2 rails, and hopefully that's it. Hopefully that's it. So I'm back on the pop top project. I've done a couple of bits. I put these straps, these brackets on for the straps to hold the pop top in place, but they also hold this in place too, to the metal frame. So all I did was drill into those and then screw that in, and that just secures that whole panel, as you can see. Secures that whole thing there. So a couple of other things that I've done. I went round and tensioned the actual canvas. It still is a little bit, it's got to have some play in it. It can't be under tension constantly. Well, in fact, to be fair, they can loosen up a bit. The pop top's got some play in it, so what I did was I strapped it down a little bit, then tightened all of it up and then released it so that the canvas takes the tension, so that the struts on at their full extension all of the time. Like I said, there's still a little bit of give, but it's the right amount. There you go, that's extended now. So yeah, you could probably pull it. You don't want it to be too tight, that's all, but it is now, especially at the front end. When that pops up, it's all under tension now. So I think my next move, apart from wiring the light in, I'll show you the light if I've not already. So this has already got lights in the ceiling. It's got 2 lights in, and there's a cable that runs along here, and then that comes out in this corner. So that needs wiring in today, and we're on with that because there's some bad wiring in the van that we've discovered, so we need to tidy that wiring up. There's a lot of speaker wire being used for stuff. Once we've tidied all that up, we'll get these lights wired in, and then I'm going to put the bed in shortly. Even though I've not put the carpet in yet, I'm going to put the bed in shortly just to check how that layout goes, and then I'll start the carpeting process. But then it's essentially done. I say this all the time, it's essentially done when there's loads of jobs to do. There's not loads of jobs to do, but it's not far off. Alright, the next stage on this is trimming off all the excess flaps. I've trimmed off this side so you can see back to where it was before. Left about 10mm or so overhang. I'm going to seal that down so that I'm going to seal it from the inside and outside, even though the instructions don't say that, but seal it from the inside and outside. So I'm just trimming off this. Right, so I'm currently battling with light, as you can probably see. It's difficult working in here in the dark, but the camera's not really picking it up. So all the bits are trimmed off that we need trimming off, as you can see. So now I'm just toying with the carpet, and there you go, the light just falls down, and then that's it, we're in the dark. So it comes with pre-made sort of thin ply board with carpet on, but what I realised is that there's going to be no lights in here once the bed is in. So I've added some lights, just there, and one further down here, and I've done that on both sides, so that now we're going to have, if the pop top's down, look at that light, brilliant. When the pop top's down, there's going to be lights under there, back to how it was, so they can use it as the standard. And then when they put it up, this one's got its own lights in. So I'm going to loosely wire those up, but then we'll wire those on 2 separate circuits as well, so they've got their normal lights in. Now I'm just lining it all up and starting to cut the carpet into shape to get it all in, and I'm going to carpet it in, get all that trimmed up. That should be a good job. Right, okay, so the pop top is pretty much done now. A few things that I've had to do. Again, the instructions were very vague, and I don't mean to keep saying that, it's no disrespect meant on the company, but they're probably really good at fitting them and fit them every day, whereas I don't. So these struts here, these solid struts, the original position for them was here, which meant that would have ended here, right where this bracket is. Now I've followed the instructions to a T, and they're good. So what I've had to do is move that up to there and move that one up. But what that means is now, it was also a bit of a fucking weird one when you were, because it's hinged there to give you more headroom down there. That's a weird one, but I'll just move the camera up here so you can see. All you do now is pull that down and the whole thing is down, that's it. Plenty of room in there. And then to get it to go back, so you see it's all fixed perfect. To get it to go back up, you sort of come midway down to where the hinge is and give that a little bit of a push with your shoulder, and the whole thing goes up. So you've got to make sure that you pull that hinge bit up first to get the gas struts going, but then it's up. There's a gap there for, if you want to leave your bedding up there, I suppose, but that's that. The only thing I'm not so sure about, I'll just pull it down just so you can see it again. When you pull that down, it comes down, the entire thing, it folds that hinge back. The only thing I'm not sure about, I've just emailed the company, is in the instructions, it shows an extension piece on this, but it has hinges across here that fold out to close this gap a bit more. Now, the runners of the frame go all the way to here, so that would suggest to me that there's a piece that big missing, but there's no hinges, no pre-screwed holes or anything. But that's 6 foot down there, but your feet would be down there and your head would be here, but then your pillows could fall off here. So I'm not 100% sure about it. I'm waiting for an email back from the company to sort that. As far as I'm concerned though, this job is done. There's only a few little issues now with electrics, because the vehicle electrics and the leisure battery that we didn't do is a bit iffy, and there's some questionable wiring going on, so we're going to rewire all of that, the leisure side, so I'm not going to be able to get the lights going just yet. But as far as this video goes, like, I'll show you where the lights, so there's a set of lights here obviously in the roof. It's this wire here. Once this wire here is wired up, those lights will work, and then I added these lights in on these little plinths here, so that when they're not using the pop top, you've still got light, and there's been more light than there was before. But I think I could end this video here because it's done. I mean, I can show you the outside. Yeah. And that's what it looks like all the way around. I think it definitely benefited tightening the canvas up a bit more, definitely. But yeah, that's it. And then the front spoiler, I need to seal that spoiler up a little bit better. I've not done the edges yet of here yet. I just put it there in position and bonded the front, just so we knew what that measurement was there, and then how that came down. But I'll show you with it down one last time. And there you have it. That's it. It's down, it's secured, it's tied down. Everything's away, everything's done. And then from the inside, that's what the back looks like, and from the inside, that's what the van will look like. I've got to tidy some trims up. We've got the lights to wire in, so some of this will be tied up a bit better, but there you go.